there, it's Diana. Welcome back to my channel. What I have for you today is a review of the 𝓟𝓻𝓸𝓭𝓾 dip liquids, and they also sent me some powders to try. So here's what comes in the kit. You have glue, which is your base coat. Then you have the activator, it's called Activate. Gloss is your top coat. And Restore is your brush cleaner. I didn't know that they were sending colors, so this is really exciting. The first color they sent is called Gnarly, and the other one is called Mango Tree. Mango Tree is a glitter. Gnarly is a beautiful mint green. And the next color is called Mango Tree. That is their glitter. Look how pretty that is. There's so many different colors in here, and you can rock this with so many variety of colors. I can't wait to use it. And then it came with a free sample. Oh, crystal glass, perfect. I'm gonna use this today in my mani to encapsulate my colors. They also sent dip liquids and dip powder application instructions. I will be following the instructions that they provided to a T because it's their liquids. And they also provided a how-to removal method, which is kind of cool as well. I noticed here, yes, all the standard techniques here is included, which is the warm water, applying the coconut oil so that the acetone doesn't really dry out your skin. So these are really good instructions. I haven't had a chance to read the both of them yet, but I'll be sure to do so before I jump into the dipping process. So what I'll do next is that I have my nails here ready to be dipped. I'm going to go ahead and apply my 3 layers of pill base because I don't want my mani to last more than a couple days, maybe 3 days at most. And then I'm going to come back and apply a base coat, which is their glue, to all of my nails. And that's when we're going to actually test the dry time of these liquids, whether it's slow, medium, or fast dry. So I'm back. I decided not to put pill base on because I'm going to be changing out these full cover tips and doing a new set with Acrygel. If you want to see my video on how I use Acrygel, I'm going to go ahead and link the card right up here. But it's my latest Acrygel application by 𝓟𝓻𝓸𝓭𝓾. So far, that's been like my kind of go-to lately. I've been kind of liking it quite a bit. So if you want to check it out, feel free to do so. But before we jump in, I do want to let you know that I get dip flu. And I'm not going to be really testing for if this gives me dip flu or not, unless it's odorless. Guarantee, it doesn't even matter if it's low odor. Guarantee at one point in time or another, it's going to give me dip flu. So to be fair, I'm going to be testing this for performance. So let's go ahead and jump on in. I'm not going to be using cupcake liners today because I did buy these, I don't know what they're called, but I'll go ahead and link everything down below. It's from either Concept, something Chaos. And I'm going to go ahead and put my colors in here. And I'm going to dip right into these little thingamabobbers here. If my nails were a little shorter, I would dip right into the jar. But glitters, I don't tend to dip into the jar anyways. Just going to go ahead and pour it on here to make dipping a little cleaner. And to encapsulate everything, I'm going to use a sample of the crystal glass. I have a napkin to my right so that I can wipe the brush on the napkin before I insert it back into the bottle. That will help avoid the brush hardening and the liquids getting contaminated. Have a little bit of alcohol in a dapping dish here, and the reason why I have this is that I take my precision tool, and this one is from 𝓟𝓻𝓸𝓭𝓾, and then one end is a little soft silicone to wipe off gel, and the other end is a precision tool. I actually dip my precision tool in the alcohol before I run it through my cuticle line so that one, my cuticle line will stay crisp. And then number 2 is that the liquids and the powder, it won't harden on my precision tool. All right, so let's just start right off with applying the first layer. So I'm going to take off as much liquid as I took off as much as I could off the brush so that I can keep my layers nice and thin. And first impressions quickly about the liquids is that it goes in nice and thin. And the viscosity, I want to say, let's just look at it from the bottle here. Yeah, it's a thin liquid, which I really like. Some may think it's runny, but it's not running into my side walls or my I should say in view. My side walls or my cuticle or anything like that. There's no flooding. So I don't see any issues with this liquid at all. And in terms of the thinness of it, I love thin liquids. You just go less. I'm wiping off more of the liquid on the neck of the bottle here. What I want to do now, yeah, it's nicely thin. So I'm wiping it as much as possible. I'm gonna finish. Yeah, I already have liquid here on my nail hair, so I'm gonna take the brush, fan it out, and then push the liquid to my cuticle, but not touching the cuticle area. And I do notice a smell. I do. So it's not terrible, but it's not low odor or anything like that. All right, this is the first application, and there's a beautiful shine to this green color. It's so pretty. I didn't really get any on my, oopsie, shoot. I didn't get anything on, let me just try to dip it again. What I was trying to tell you guys is I didn't get anything on my cuticle area here, so I don't really feel the need to run it right. You see, there's really nothing. And the instruction says to wait 30 seconds and come in with a stiffer brush and then brush off the excess powder. So I'm gonna use my toothbrush here, because that's the first thing I grab. And it is dry, 30 seconds. So it's, I would say it's a medium drying liquid, very nice. I don't particularly like slow drying liquids. The only time I really pull out slow drying is if I'm doing like a glitter ombre and I need extra time. You have a little bit of glitter there. So I'm gonna do a total of 3 to 4 coats, depending on if I can get the application to stay pretty nice. But the first application, I always do my full nail. And the reason why I do that is that when I do it the other way, where I'm building an apex, so I start it with a strip in the middle, and then I go 2/3 of the nail, and then finally to 3/4 of the nail, it adds like bulk here where the cuticle area is. So I'm finding that if I do it this way instead, the bulk is not there. And then in addition, there's a second reason why I do that, is that when I'm filing the cuticle area, if you do it the first way, you're getting one coat around your cuticle area, and when you're filing it, you're going to file the color off. So this way it kind of guarantees you have like 2 or maybe even 3 coats there, so you can be a little bit more you do a little bit more filing if you want. So here I'm just going to go a little bit right in the tip there and dip that in. And this is a little wet still, so I'm going to dip it back in, and then it should be dry in 30 seconds. So, okay. So far, so good. Now I'm going to take my napkin. I should have done that the first time. Is that now that I have dip powder on my nail, I should be wiping the brush on a napkin. So for this layer, I'm just going to go a little wider and a little longer. And that's what we have so far. So I just want to make sure it's dry before I brush it off here. Okay. And now for the last layer, I'm going to go all the way. I see some glitter here from swatching earlier. Let me just wipe that off. Okay, so here's where I would dip the Precision 2 in alcohol and run it around my cuticles here. Great, that's the first nail. I'm gonna go ahead and dip my other nails in the solid, and then I'll come back and do the glitter. I am back. I did actually do a fourth dip on all of the nails here. Now these two, I'm going to do glitter, and then I'll go ahead and encapsulate, and then I'll likely file offline just so that it'll be quicker, and then I'll come back and kind of finish up my nails. Look how beautiful this glitter is. You can pretty much match it with any color you want. So for my glitters, I have a little baggie on hand. I don't know if I'm gonna need it with this glitter because it doesn't have like a lot of chunks in it, but we shall see. These liquids are very thin, so you don't need a lot at all. Let me just go off and take some off, especially the first layer since there is no dip on it. You wanna go very little. Later on, the second, third, fourth dip, you have liquids on it and just naturally you're going to need a little bit extra, but on your first coat, go very little. You don't need it. Okay, I'm going to lay my finger in here, hold it down for, 2 seconds or so. Tap it off and let's see what we got. So for glitters that are touching my cuticle area, I like to use an orange stick, or you can use a cuticle pusher, a metal one as well, and just kind of take it off of my cuticle. I haven't used a mask yet, but I know I should because I can smell the liquids. I'm dipping it into some acetone just so I can move the powder just a little bit more. And let's tap it. Yeah, I would say these are medium drying liquids, so they don't dry too fast. Yeah, I probably won't need the baggy method because these glitters laid down really nicely, which is perfect because I'm gonna need a nice flat glitter to ombre a little bit. I'm gonna wipe off as much liquid as possible. See, there's still a lot on here. Ooh, that's pretty. I dip it into some acetone. Just run it around my cuticle area here. See, I did too much there. Just dip it back in. Yep, that worked perfectly. The liquid still was a little damp, so that worked just fine. Okay, I will go ahead and do another layer of the glitter. Make sure it's fully wet. So I think because these liquids are so thin, I might have gone in a little too heavy because I'm not used to it yet, and then it was still a little wet. Let me pat down this glitter here, I forgot to do that. Just be gentle. Okay. tapping to try to get more of the chunkier glitters to rise the top. So I'm going to let this dry a little bit and try to press it down. I'm going with the bag just so that it doesn't get stuck to my finger. I'm going to just press it down until the glitter dries. See, now I'm taking the bag, I'm kind of holding it where it doesn't have any chance to escape there. So it's just flattening it even more. These are very nice glitters. I didn't even have to use my little activator trick to get the glitters to lay down. And when you're encapsulating glitter, you want your base to kind of feel the hollow areas of the glitter so that you can get the liquids in there. Get the liquid in there so that you can encapsulate in it as well. So I'm just taking my time. I'm just kind of like shimmying it, the liquid in between all the glitters. Now brush off the clear really good. Because in the past, when people have complained about cloudiness, it's probably because they have leftover clear powder on their nails before they activate. So it's going to cause a little cloudiness. Make sure this is fully dry. Remove it all. So we'll do that to the rest of my nails. Now let's go ahead and activate. Now the activator is supposed to take 2 minutes for it to harden the powder. So I did 4 layers here, so I'm gonna want to do at least 2 layers of activator on each nail. Right, so the activator is supposed to harden the powder in about 2 minutes or so. And I want to come back and check on it. And you'll know when it's ready when you hear a clicking noise. See right here? You don't really hear a loud clicking noise. This one, you kind of do. Makes sense because I dipped these nails well before I did the glitter, and the glitter's still a little wet. See the difference? Versus this? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to be back in a couple minutes. Right, my nails are hardened. So I can, I'm going to go ahead and, all right, so my nails are hardened. I'm going to go ahead and go offline. I'll file, shape, and buff all that stuff, and then I'll come back and finish up my nails. I am back, all file, buffed, and shaped, and I did file into the color, and it still holds the color very well. There's no patchiness. The color is actually very nice, although this green I don't think kind of matches my skin tone. Nonetheless, the colors and the glitter, they perform beautifully. So for my nail art, I try to do a little bit of some sort of nail art. I'm going to be using transfer foil. And this one is my little booklet that I hold most of my flower transfer foils. I do have a lot more, but this is just for my flowers, and I'm gonna use this design here. And the way I kind of like organize my transfer foils is that I would take a business card size. This one I just cut out of cardstock because I ran out of business cards. But I would unwrap the transfer foil in its original container, and I would wrap it around this business card, and then I would slide it in here. So it allows me to put 3 in a row all on one page, if you will, because again, I have a lot. I'm always trying to find ways to streamline my organization and make it scalable as my collection grows with it. The way I'm going to be applying the transfer foil is with this Young Nail foil transfer base. It is an air dry transfer foil glue, I guess. I have been trying to limit my exposure with using the lamp because I use it quite a bit. So when I have an opportunity or product that will allow me to use it without using a lamp, I will do that. So Young Nail, this one is an air dry. It takes about 45 seconds for the glue to be sticky enough, and then you apply the transfer foil. I'm just gonna cut a piece that I want. Let's just kind of start with this. I don't know exactly what I want. If I don't see something I want, I'm going to just cut out another piece. Now, I don't know exactly what I want to use, so I just kind of cut it out and then size it up against my nail to see which piece I want. Because, you know, picking a flower, the right flower is very important. And I want the flower, because I take a Gnarly, so my right hand is a little bit more awkward to position than my left hand. So for this one, I usually take a picture this way. So I want all of my nail art to be facing this way. Just kind of be a little strategic with that. So let's see here. I think what I'll do is I'm going to take this flower to be on my middle finger. I'm going to cut off the additional excess because I can use it for another mani. But I don't want it too short where I can't pull it off afterwards. So here's what we're going to do. Let's set my timer really quick. Okay, let's reset it because this works exactly in 45 seconds. So I don't want to go too long or going a little too short. So one thin, not too thin, normal application. And then after that, we're going to set the timer for 45 seconds. Now, when I was watching Young Nails, Greg, he's actually fantastic. He always does his application and it comes out perfectly. I could never get mine to come out perfectly. I don't know what it is. Now, I forgot what darn piece. I think it was this one. What are we at? 18 seconds. I think I wanted this one. So I had my little tool here. It's a little silicone tool. I want to say I might have put it back. Okay, so I have it here ready. Just right about 40 seconds, I'm going to start getting ready here. So 3 more seconds. And okay, so that's 40 seconds. It's going to take me a few seconds to put it on my nail. So going to put it on. Oops. And I'm a little clumsier because this is not my dominant hand. So I put it on there, and this might take, it might have been wait a little too long and it's not sticky anymore, but let's see. So I'm just kind of, it's a little bit more awkward. So I'm just kind of rubbing it with my, putting a lot of pressure. You're supposed to put a lot of pressure on it. I'm gonna try using this little silicone tool here to rub it off, because again, it is a little awkward using my non-dominant hand. Wonder if I waited it too long. Yeah, it's not coming off all the way. You see here? I'm gonna try, although it gives me like a little vintage feel. So I'm gonna give it another go. I am back, all file buffed and shaped, and I did file into the color, and it still holds the color very well. There's no patchiness. The color is actually very nice, although this green I don't think kind of matches my skin tone. Nonetheless, the colors and the glitter, they perform beautifully. So for my nail art, I try to do a little bit of some sort of nail art. I'm going to be using transfer foil. And this one is my little booklet that I hold most of my flower transfer foils. I do have a lot more, but this is just for my flowers. And I'm gonna use this design here. And the way I kind of like organize my transfer foils is that I would take a business card size. This one I just cut out of cardstock because I ran out of business cards. But I would unwrap the transfer foil in its original container, and I would wrap it around this business card, and then I would slide it in here. So it allows me to put 3 in a row all on one page, if you will, because again, I have a lot. I'm always trying to find ways to streamline my organization and make it scalable as my collection grows with it. I have been trying to limit my exposure with using the lamp because I use it quite a bit. When I have an opportunity or product that will allow me to use it without using a lamp, I will do that. So Young Nail, this one is an air dry. It takes about 45 seconds for the glue to be sticky enough, and then you apply the transfer foil. So I'm just gonna cut a piece that I want. Let's just kind of start with this. I don't know exactly what I want. If I don't see something I want, I'm going to just cut out another piece. Let me set my timer here because we want it to be no more than 45 seconds. So I'm just going to do the top portion, and I'll come back and do the second portion because it's going to be in 2 steps. So I'm going to wait for about 40 seconds or so. In total dry time, it should be no more than 45 seconds. But since I did quite a bit of talking, I'm just going to set it for only 40 seconds. If I wait too long, then the the glue will be too dry and I can't transfer. So let's see here. Don't have a ton of time, 20 seconds. I'm going to get my little silicone tool ready to help me kind of like press it down so I can transfer. That's been 30 seconds. Get it ready. 30, here's about 40 seconds and I'm gonna go. Okay, so 40 seconds. I'm gonna lay that down right there. And then now, if I was using my dominant hand to do this, I'd just use my fingernails and my fingers to kind of like apply pressure. But because I'm a little awkward with my non-dominant hand, I'm going to use a tool to help me with this. And it's still, I'm hoping it transfers right. So awkward. I'm always amazed at how people do nail art using their non-dominant hand. I'm always amazed. I don't know how they do it. The most I'll be able to do on my non-dominant hand is transfer foil or stamping. That's like my go-to, which I haven't done in a while, to be honest with you, but I want to get back into it. Okay, let's see if that transferred. See how here if I lift it up, it's still kind of not transfer the way. So let's put it back down and rub it a little bit more. And I might not have waited. I might have waited a little too long. Okay, that's not bad. It's not perfect. I'm not loving it, but I think this flower, it's supposed to look a little vintage anyway. So we're just going to leave it be and then move on to our next flower. All right, so I am going to call this done. I'm going to give this a little bit of a glitter ombre, and then we'll finish up our nails. This does have a pretty strong odor. I did my nails last night. I filed and buffed, and I took a little break, went to bed, came back and kind of finished my nail, and I got dip flu pretty bad. But I already told you guys ahead of time that I wasn't going to really be testing for dip flu or not. I knew this would give it to me unless it was odorless. I'm going to point my finger down. And then, yeah, but I'm testing for performance of the liquids. And for right now, the base, it goes on very, very nicely. I have no complaints on the base powder whatsoever. And the activator dries as it usually would. 2 minutes. Oh no, I think I wiped off a little too much. I'm always a little bit more clumsier on my non-dominant hand. Gosh darn it. Sometimes I can't even do a proper glitter ombre. I'm like, I don't know if you see it in camera, but I'm like struggling here. I don't want too much glitter in the areas I don't want it, so I'm just kind of like wiping it off. Okay, I'm okay there. Now I'm going to go in and just hand place a few of the larger pieces of glitter. I'll pour it on my table here. Okay, so I'm going to apply a little bit more glue just at the top area. I'm going to go in and hand place my larger glitters. Okay. Okay, that's what I have so far. All right, let me go ahead and activate, and then I will top coat and I will be done. Actually, for this nail, I'm not going to activate because it's probably going to bleed. I'm going to apply a layer of base. I'm not going to use gel because I'm trying to limit my usage of gel. So what I do here is apply a layer of base and let it dry all together. Okay, there's a little glitter there. I'm actually going to either leave it or try to take it off. If it doesn't come off, I'm just going to leave it. So this is my form of encapsulation. I don't put clear dip on these decals because it will fade it. You're just not going to see it as clearly. And these are already kind of vintage looking. So I don't want to, you know, go in and make it more faded. And then for my glitter nail here, give me 1 second. I'm going to grab a napkin. I'm also encapsulating that in base coat. I'm gonna let that both dry, and then I'm gonna come back, activate, and then top coat the rest. All right, let me go ahead and activate all of my nails. And then you're supposed to wait 2 minutes and wipe it off with alcohol and then come back and top coat. So that's what I'm gonna do. It is about 2 minutes now. I'm going to go in with the lint-free wipe now and wipe off any excess activator that might still be left on my nails. And the reason why you do this is that if there is any activator left on your nails and the moment your top coat brush touches it, then it will immediately harden. And if you stick it back in the bottle, it's going to contaminate your liquid. So This is just a little precaution. I have a napkin here to wipe off the brush before I insert it back in the bottle. Okay, so for the very first layer of top coat, it's just going to be 2 to 3 quick swipes. 1, 2, wipe it off, stick it in the bottle. And it just needs to be really thin. You don't need to go precise or thick at all. You'll concentrate on getting more of the finer areas in your second layer of top coat. Okay, then immediately go in with your second layer. And this time you can kind of take your time. Because your first layer has probably already kind of hardened and you won't risk contamination anymore. So generally, you don't even have to wipe off your brush after the first layer because the first layer of your color, your top coat I should say, has already kind of hardened. So that's kind of like the logic behind it. The top coat goes on very nicely as well, just like the base coat, very thin. Don't need much whatsoever. You didn't see me cap my free edges because I'm going to pop this off, but on your second application, cap your free edges so that your dip will last longer. All right, we're done here. The dry time should be roughly 2 minutes or less. Just kind of do final impressions really quick while I'm waiting for this to dry. Is that, you know, let's start off with the base. In terms of like smell, performance, dry time, I would say the smell of all these liquids are normal dip liquids. They're not low odor. They're not the worst smelling either, but it is enough to give me, you know, a reaction to it. It just makes my nose itchy and runny and all that stuff. It is very thin. And it's not too thin where it runs into your cuticle or sidewalls or anything like that, but it's thin enough where you can go. I did 4 layers of color. You know, it gave me bulk obviously because I have 4 layers of color, but it was so thin each layer, and it was very nice, to be honest with you. In terms of the dry time, I would say this is a medium drying liquid, so it doesn't dry too fast. If you're going to do a glitter ombre, you can go a little bit heavier on the liquid, and it'll stay wetter, damper, a little longer for you to manipulate. So dry time I think is actually perfect for what I was using it for today. The activator smells like regular activator. It's not crazy strong, but it does have an activator smell. Top coat, I would say same thing as the base, is that thin, you know, it smells like it had the same odor as the base top coat. The dry time, normal dry time, I say activator takes 2 minutes to dry and to harden, which is very normal, and it takes about a couple minutes to dry, which is again very normal. So let me just see here. Yeah, if I'm touching my nail, yeah, they're all dry. So within a couple minutes it dries, and look at the shine on this liquids with the clear powder, the crystal glass here. It didn't cause the glitter to be cloudy at all, so that's actually a very nice clear. It went on super thin. But I am going to finish off with some cuticle oil because my cuticles are super dry. Whatever that's in front of me is what I'm reaching for. It's not because it's a favorite or anything like that. It's because I have it right in front of me. But it's Candy Skincare, I want to say, and this is from one of the subscription boxes from last year for spring. And I have so much cuticle oil that you know, I had to cancel the subscription box because I had way too many. I am all done. What do you guys think? The colors are very pretty. I would recommend these liquids. They're very nice. I'm going to continue to use it, and when I run out, I'm going to buy it again, to be honest with you. They perform very nicely. I love the dry time. I'm a little impatient, so anything that I have to wait for more than 2 minutes, it drives me bonkers. So I'll just wear my respirator mask because I do like how the liquids perform. And a little indication of why I thought this liquid would dry pretty fast as I was reading the instructions, it said wait 2 minutes for the, you know, for the second activator to dry, and then wipe it off, go in with your top coat, and immediately go in with your second top coat. That last part immediately go on with the second top coat. I already knew that if I did that, my top coat would dry so fast. That's just how those types of liquids with those types of instructions they react to. So I did enjoy that very, very much. All right, well, I am all done. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And if you liked it, be sure to give me a thumbs up. If there's other liquids you want me to review, just drop them down in the comments below. I'm going to go ahead and link the card right up here. But I do have other dip liquids I've reviewed in the past. So I'm going to create a playlist and I'm going to link it right up top for you guys if you want to check it out. Vivid had a post that went out in their group and said, you know, volunteer, say hello if you wanted to try the dip liquids. And I was like, ooh, let me give that a try, because I've had my eye on Vivid Glam Co for a while, and I'm so glad I had the opportunity to try it. Their colors are gorgeous. This is so pretty. I will chat with you guys later. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on my next video. Bye.